Has communist ideology invaded America? A North Korean defector's dire warning. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Is Marxist ideology invading American schools? Recently, we did an episode about critical race theory. Good thumbnail. You should check it out for our full rundown. But in short, critical race theory is a bit like Marxist struggle ideology applied to race. Already, several states have banned critical race theory in public schools, and several other states are debating a ban. And these states are debating a similar ban on divisive concepts. But these bans don't apply to private universities. But this is an issue people are concerned about. So has communism really invaded American universities? I thought, why not ask someone who survived both communism and university? Joining me today is North Korean defector and author Yeonmi Park to share a bit of the culture shock she experienced when she attended New York City's Columbia University. Thanks for joining me again, Yeonmi.
Thank you for having me.
Well, so you've been getting a lot of attention lately for a claim you made about studying at Columbia University. You said, even North Korea isn't this nuts. What did you mean by that?
I meant about the obsession about being politically correct at a university. It's supposed to promote the diversity of thoughts and debating ideas and searching for truth. However, the university became obsessed with the inclusion and creating a safe place. They would literally, professors tell me, don't even do the readings, don't even come to the class if this triggers you. How do you supposed to learn and challenge your thoughts if you are not gonna sit in the classroom and do the readings? So that was just one example. And a lot of other things also the same thing. What I thought in North Korea, there's such a high, anti-sentiment of Western democracy that they would literally say, every single problem that we have in this world is because of white men, right? White men destroyed Africa, white men destroyed Asia, the world, the climate, everything. Because of white men, we suffered and we are continuing to suffer. So that's how they thought the world worked, a very simple way of understanding the world. That's what North Korea did to us. Literally, Kim Jong-un said, because of American bastards, we don't have electricity. Because of American bastards, we don't have food, right? Because of American bastards, we die all the time. So because of Americans, that we did that. And here in America, because white men, this happened. Because of white men, this happened. It was so similar. It was the same thing, basically.
Well, that's so strange because to me, equality and inclusion, those are good things. But it sounds like what they're talking about is something different. It sounds more like the sort of equality that Mao Zedong talked about or Pol Pot talked about.
Yeah. So equality of opportunity is good, right? But equality of resource is horrible. That can never happen unless they murder or steal from somebody else. So, right, the equality we're talking about is that equality of resource. And they do not believe in meritocracy. They do not give people the competency is not a thing anymore, right? The fact that you are competent, the fact that you studied hard to take the exam and go to Harvard, like a lot of Asians do, that shows your privilege. That shows you are a guilty, right? So the fact that you cannot focus, you didn't study, and you did a lot of horrible things means you're oppressed. Because of system, you're a victim. So now, right, this was what shocked me the most. Like, we're supposed to try get better and do things better and be more competent, but the fact that you are competent is sign of your privilege. And this twist of truth was shocking to my core. I couldn't believe that. And this affirmative action, right? They totally that's the thing, equality of opportunity is, I guess, for them is what it is for them. That is what it is.
Well, so you escaped North Korea and you survived sexual slavery in China. What happened when you shared your real experiences at Columbia? Like, how do people respond?
Before even I shared a few more sentences, as they were just saying, shutting me off, I'm brainwashed. Like everybody else's emotions are validated as long as they are politically correct. But as long as I'm like incorrect, then mine is not validated. It just gets shut down right there. And just their conclusion is you're brainwashed, therefore it's not worth listening in the classroom, in the discussion. And they would go ask people who echo. It's an echo chamber. Whatever the instructor says, other people say, you gotta say the U.S. Constitution was written by these bigots, white supremacists, This country was founded by these bigot white men. So we gotta destroy every single thing that we can and rebuild the beautiful socialist paradise here.
So you've been criticizing wokeness a lot. What do you consider wokeness? Is it similar to the communist ideology you experienced in North Korea and China?
Absolutely, right? This wokeness assumes that individuals cannot make the decisions for themselves, right? They assume, that's the thing, like people say, socialism on the paper looks so good, but to me it doesn't even look good on the paper because it assumes that humans, we are not good, that we have to let the government decide what is best for us. And that is so not right. And what this extreme woke means that, right, we are, I don't know how to define it. The wokeism, even North Korea wasn't this crazy. I don't even know how to, even their obsession with the pronouns, right? That instead of me trying to understand the contents of character of a person, I am obsessed studying what you feel like is with people gender fluid, because they can feel like a man in the morning and women like afternoon. So I probably have to guess what they feel like and respectful to them. What are waste of my mental energy, right? These conference rooms, 120 people, 90 people sitting down, and they go to their names and their pronouns first of all. Then I'm obsessed studying their pronouns so I don't come off as a bigot. Instead of me studying actual facts and understanding the history. So yeah, I think this is definitely crazier than North Korea. I don't think even North Korea went this far with the Marxism or whatever this thing is. They haven't gone this far. Thankfully.
Well, so I'm curious. For years you've become a prominent critic of North Korea, a big supporter of human rights, women's rights. But now lately you've been talking about, far left ideology in the United States. You were recently on the Jordan Peterson podcast. You've talked to Fox News. Are you getting any kind of a backlash for this?
Yeah, it was expected, right? I was gonna get canceled. I was never gonna now invited to any mainstream conferences and companies. I know that I was losing all of that. But the most shocking thing was people who told me they love me, right? And who have been friends many years, have gone through so much together. That kind of my dear friends telling me that they are concerned, they are worried, they don't understand why I'm doing this. And now I have to, at first thing I had to tell them, I see that why you feel that way. I think they are trying to protect themselves by associating with me. Now I became a Nazi, right? I became a bigot. Their job is in danger. Their reputation is in danger. And it is so sad, now people have to do that to, separate from me to survive in this country. This is so heartbreaking. I don't think if we had a culture where promoting diversity of thoughts, none of this, my friends, had to do this to me, right? So in a way, I don't even blame them. It was angers me in the beginning. It was what a hypocrites, right? You talked about justice. You talked about all of these things on surface. These were public figures. Now when it comes to actually standing for the right thing, you don't do that. The first thing you do is try to protect your own job. So we see that with LeBron James, we see that with John Cena, we see that with so many Hollywood celebrities. So I guess that was expected.
Yeah, I'm just shocked at the similarities between things that happened in the Soviet Union or in East Germany or in China. And I've always wondered how a country like China, how does it get to the point where there's a cultural revolution? How does a society go that crazy? It doesn't happen overnight. Do you think we're seeing the beginnings of that kind of transformation in America?
Unfortunately, I do think it is happening. It's happening, in Portland, right? The riots are not stopping. These people believe that they are the most oppressive people on human history, right? They live in the most oppressive country. They still believe this is the most systemically racist country. And I do think that, right, last year in Chicago, I was living in downtown. They think social justice means stealing bags from Gucci and Chanel store. That's how they perceive justice right now. And that is validated in the mainstream media by public figures. So this is as crazy as a cultural revolution, no? This is not a common sense, right? Like, as a North Korean, I understand what common sense is, and this country lost common sense. That is not just, you don't fight just by stealing, like looting a store. That's not like how you fight for justice. But this country don't even know how fighting for justice looks like. And then they keep saying these things like they are fighting for justice, but that's not what they're doing. They are creating a destruction.
I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around it. Like, you know what it's like to be oppressed. But what happened when you shared your stories of oppression with your fellow students at Columbia?
When they say it's the same thing, like I'm brainwashed, they say, I remember because you are so brainwashed that you haven't learned. So they told me America has a Guantanamo Bay, the prison camp. So they say America is actually as worse and even worse than North Korea is. So they say America does a human experiment. America has a concentration camps. This country kills other people, colonize other countries. So the destruction that this USA causing is worse than what Kim Jong-un has done. And I met more people in person though, right? Like so many people told me how America is the worst country that has ever existed in human history. That worse than North Korean regime. Till this day, I hear that every single day. And these are the people we talk about. But they are the ones at Columbia. They are the ones in the mainstream. They are the ones the establishment. Those ones who has this ideology believing that America is the worst thing that can ever happen to the human history. Yeah, that's what woke is, right?
It's just crazy to me. Like, people living in America today who can go to Columbia University, they're the most privileged people in human history.
Yeah,
and yet,
exactly.
It just seems what's happening.
Because they never had a problem in their life. That's what I learned, like not having a problem is a problem. And that's what they got. They never had any hardship, right? They are spoiled. That's a just fact. They're definitely taking this prosperity that created from free market and democracy, freedom for granted. So it is horrible. Like, they should be so grateful and then try to free other people using their voice, using their platform. Instead, bitter and complaining all day long how they're oppressed. This is the most bizarre thing, right? These people are given so much by luck, whatever it was. The fact they were born in America, that is bigger than lottery. Like, when I gave my son birth in America, I knew that was the biggest gift I gave to my son, him being born in America. And these people are that ridiculously lucky. And what are the chances in the cosmic world you born at this time of this human history in the spot of America? Like, what are the chances? How lucky are you? How can you not get that? But somehow they are the most oppressed people in the world. Like, they feel so oppressed. Like, the fact, I remember one day, it looked at him by his chromosomes, like guy, man genetics, told me he's man, he feels like gender fluid, so asked me to call him they. and then I misused his pronoun. I said him or he, and then he teared his eyes and come like how can you do this to me, right? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was sincerely apologizing to him, like, yeah, my English, I just got here. I'm learning my best. I'm so sorry it came off that way. And I don't know. I'm sure that became his episode of telling his friends how he's actually oppressed because of the bigots like me who misspoke his pronouns once, right? So this kind of thing triggers people. This kind of thing is a triggering point. As I was like, wow, you don't know, like for other people, their problem is life and death. And your problem is how you feel. Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining us again, Yeonmi. It's so strange. We've had you on before on our other channel, China Uncensored, to talk about problems in North Korea and China, and it's so sad that to hear that you've come to the free world and yet these kind of problems are still following you.
It's okay. I think it's my destiny that I should never stop fighting for freedom, I guess. That's my fate.
I guess so.
I think so.
All
yeah,
right.
at this point, I'm accepting the fate, so yeah.
Great. Well, I'll be there with you. Thanks again for joining us. This was great.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Yeonmi Park's YouTube channel, Voice of North Korea. A link to that is below. We also did an hour-long discussion with Yeonmi that came out on Monday on our podcast channel, China Unscripted. There's a link for that as well. And if you want to learn more about topics like this, please help support America Uncovered on the crowdfunding website Patreon. YouTube demonetizes a lot of our episodes, so we can't afford to keep making this show without your support. All it takes is as little as $1 per episode. Once again, that's patreon.com/America Uncovered. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.